Raimer with the UNC Police Department. Some of you know we're located in Gray Hall. So the whole purpose of this training, I know you folks have been there all day, and last but not least, I'm good? Okay, just wanted to make sure.
It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over.
Oh, that's not the one we want to show. But anyway, so what I want to do is I want to show you folks actually this is our newest video that we're going to start showing this year for Active Shooter. We had another one, but this one is a lot shorter. So now you get to hear me talk more. So because the other one is like 20 minutes long, I think this one is just a little bit over 10 minutes long. So it gets right to the point, and then what happens once you see this video? It's more cartoon compared to the other one. We can discuss it, and I expect a lot of questions. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and show it and go from there.
We hope not, because for that to be true, you would have to be involved in an active shooter incident. While the likelihood of finding yourself in an active shooter incident is small, the risk is real, and these situations are happening with increasing frequency on college campuses and elsewhere. Our objective is to help put you in control of the outcome. Everything we discuss in this video can be summed up in 3 words: run, hide, fight. But first, what is an active shooter? An active shooter is someone with a gun attempting to kill people in a confined, populated area. For you, that means someone with a gun on campus who wants to kill. The purpose of this video is to give you the tools and confidence necessary to survive an active shooter attack. How will you know when an active shooter attack is underway? Know that gunshots don't always sound like they do in movies. If it sounds like a gun, or even firecrackers, consider that it may be an attack. Do not wait for confirmation. Do not seek a second opinion. If it sounds like gunfire, it's gunfire. The same goes for screaming. While screaming doesn't always indicate danger, it may be a reaction to something terrible. Keep in mind that police are minutes away, not seconds. You must fend for yourself during this time. You cannot wait for the police to arrive. You cannot wait to act. If you are inside a building, use any way out available, including emergency doors and windows. Keep closed signs don't matter now. All options are available to you. Always be aware of your surroundings. Identify your options and make a plan. By the time an attack begins, you should already know where to run. Look for exits now, so you won't have to during an attack. When the time comes to run, leave everything behind except your phone. Everything. Just thinking about what to bring is time wasted. The most valuable thing you have is you. Grab yourself and go. Get yourself to a safe place. If you are outside, run away from the attack sounds. Don't stop running until you are certain you are away from danger and in a safe area. When running, try to make yourself a more difficult target. It might be slower, but it could be safer. Don't turn around to see what's happening behind you. It is unlikely that the shooter is chasing you, but either way, slowing down to look for the shooter is not a smart strategy. Once you are out of immediate danger, dial 911. Tell the dispatcher there is an active shooter and your location. Do not assume someone else has already called 911. Your Yours could be the one call that saves lives.
If you think it's too risky to leave your current location, hide. Active shooters seek easy targets, so don't be an easy target. It's that simple. An ideal hiding place would be a room with no windows and a locking door, but that option might not be available when the time comes. Turn off lights and shut the blinds. Make it look like the room is unoccupied. Even partial darkness helps. Choose cover over concealment whenever possible. Concealment is something like an office partition. It will hide you from sight, but it will not stop a bullet. Cover is something that will do both. Heavy wooden doors, file cabinets full of paper, and objects of this type should always be your first choice. If possible, barricade doors behind you, even if locked. But try not to make unnecessary noise in the process. Be silent. Turn your phone to silent. Disappear. Shooters don't waste time exploring rooms that look unoccupied, trying to break down locked doors, or searching for hiding students. Once hidden, be prepared to stay hidden a long time. Stay calm and be patient. It may take a while, but the police will eventually find you and lead you away from danger. Again, the time to look for places to hide is not after the shooting has begun. It is now. Wherever you are on campus, be aware of your surroundings and ask yourself, where could I hide if it happens? What are my options? Does this classroom have a closet? Does the door lock? What could I use to barricade the door? If no other option is available, defend yourself. You might not think of yourself as a fighter, but others just like you have surprised themselves with how effective they can be when fighting back was the best option for survival. The attacker has at least one weapon, and you do too. Look around. Chairs, textbooks, backpacks, rocks, pens. You have more options than you probably thought. One readily available weapon is a fire extinguisher. You will find them in nearly every hallway. You also have surprise on your side. The attacker is not expecting armed resistance until police arrive. This is your advantage. When you fight back, your goal is to overwhelm the attacker and minimize their ability to use weapons effectively by limiting their vision or physically disabling them. And with others nearby, weakening the attacker will give them confidence to join the fight. Lastly, when you fight back, don't stop too soon. Fight until the threat is over. The number one job of the police is to stop the attack. This means they are totally focused on neutralizing the shooter. Keep in mind that active shooters look like anyone else, even students like you. So when you exit a building, raise your hands to show the police that you aren't holding any weapons. You don't want to be mistaken for the attacker. Remember, just as you are afraid, the police are on edge too.
They need to be ready to take immediate and decisive action.
So your behavior is critical. Hands in the air. Avoid sudden movements. Obey police direction. The police will shout orders. They don't have time for courtesy. They must act quickly and forcefully. Do what they say for everyone's benefit. Like we said, the police are there to stop the attack. Once that job is done, they will turn to helping.
Let's talk about helping others. This may be the most difficult decision of your life, but the best thing that you can do may be just to run and get help. Remember, most active shooter incidents begin unexpectedly and end quickly. Help is on the way. If you can remember run, hide, fight, you have the most important knowledge needed to survive an active shooter attack. Familiarize yourself with your environment. Plan ahead. If you are prepared, you will be able to run, hide, and fight without hesitation and with confidence. Please share this video, not only with your fellow students, but with family and friends. The active shooter threat is not limited to your campus, or to any public place for that matter. This could be the most important video you ever share. Thank you for watching.
So that video lasted about 10 minutes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start on you. Oh, okay, I saw somebody shake. Sometimes my voice tends to do that to people. So as far as the what you just saw, run, hide, fight, what I taught last year, and I'll just talk to you about what I talked about last year. It used to be get out, call out, hide out, take out. So it's run, hide, fight is the three terms that you have to remember. Something that happened at Ohio State University a couple years ago. I don't know if you folks have heard about it, but it turned out that there was a guy with a machete. They thought he had a gun, but it was just a machete. So they treated it as if it was a real active shooter, with someone with a gun. So the way that works is when they sent out, the police department actually sent out the run, hide, and fight, because you folks are going to be able to get our emergency mass notification given to you by text to your cell phones, email accounts, and then we have the emergency poles on campus, which is 29 of them located throughout the university, and it's going to have emergency on it with the nice police lights on top. There's a 911 button. You press that button, it's going to go right to our dispatch comm center. So, so my whole point is you're going to get that information three different ways. So even if you're in an area where you can't receive reception, you're going to still get that text message to your cell phones. So I'm going to assume that everyone here has 970-351-2245 in your cell phones, right? Good answer. Yes is the answer. So the next thing I want to talk about is panic button alarm. How many folks knew that there's a panic button in your classroom? Okay, so keep in mind, we have what you call a panic alarm button. You probably didn't know this, but you know you have the desk, the professor's desk or instructor, and then underneath it has panic button or panic alarm, and then there's a button. And keep in mind, it's not for just raising the screen or anything. It actually, a real panic button that summons the police department that there's something going on in that classroom. So once someone hits that button, we're going to respond as a police force to that location, and we're going to see what's going on. We're going to assess the situation. But the way it works is once you hit that panic button, you're going to hear a click sound on the door where you can exit but no one can enter. And then we're going to eventually arrive on scene once we've been dispatched to your location. And we're going to look in the window. We're going to make sure everything's going okay. And if everything looks like it's going okay, we'll try not to interrupt the class, but in this case, we're going to have to talk to the professor at some point because to let him or her know that you just activated the panic button. And a lot of times it's accidental. 95% of the time it's accidental, but it was one time that someone activated the panic button and it turns out that someone was having a seizure. Lady was asking me, was that okay, Officer Larry, that I hit the panic button? I said, was that an emergency? Yes, well, hit the panic button, you know. But the main purpose for the panic button is in case of an active shooter. So, if you hit the panic button, that means in that classroom you're going to be hopefully safe to where you have a kind of like a safe haven in that classroom. So I'm going to explain step by step the situation. If there's an active shooter, well, it can happen here, it can happen anywhere. The first thing that you're going to do is run, try to get out of the situation. And if there's someone that's disabled, help them, help them out. Have everyone help each other out. Because, I don't know about you guys, you watch a lot of movies where people are in combat, especially Army movies, John Wayne movies. I know he's older, you guys are like younger. It's just one of those things where we look out for one another. I'll put you on my back and I'll carry you to safety. That's what I expect you to do for everyone. So run, make sure you get everybody out, help each other out, and get out of the situation. The next thing you're going to do is you're gonna hide out, okay? So this gets a little bit more in depth because it doesn't take much for you to run, but hiding is gonna take some work. And what I suggest you folks do is get familiar with your work areas, wherever you're at, classroom, and just paint a picture. Okay, if I'm involved in an active shooter, what am I gonna do? Okay, so I can't run, but I can hide. So I told you earlier about how the panic button works. Well, that's your hide part of it, because that perpetrator cannot come into your classroom because that door is locked once you hit that panic button. But there's going to be times you're not going to be in the classroom. If you're in an office, you're going to have to figure out a way to hide if you can. Maybe there's a door somewhere, closet, something that you can hide out in. And if you do so, make sure you silence your cell phones. The other video says silence your pager. Okay, does anyone have pagers in there? I don't think so. So definitely, that's how old the other video is. So definitely silence your cell phones. And just kind of create just something where you can hide and be as tactical as possible, because you may have to hide behind your desk or underneath your desk and just pull the chair to where no one can see you. Just be as creative as possible. In some situations, depends on where you're at, you may even have to barricade the door. So get a lot of you, and there's going to be times when you're going to have to move fast. You can't think about it, you just got to act upon it and act fast. So definitely barricade the door. And the last thing you're going to do is fight. Okay, so you may be in a situation where running is no option, hide is no option. You may be in a fight before you know it. So what I do is, let's say hypothetically, someone's going to come in that door, and Vince is our perpetrator. So actually, he's already in the door, so we'll have him. Yeah, once you go out and come back in. So he's coming in the door. Okay, so what are you folks going to do when Vince comes in the door as the bad guy? What are you going to do? Okay, so there's a lot of options. There's a lot of options that you can do. Okay, yeah, that's one option. You can throw things at him. Okay, what I would do if I hear shot fired in the hallway, I would get to as many people to this one side, and as he comes in, I'll take, let me see, what kind of object? This is where you get really creative. There's no rules of engagement. You do whatever it takes to survive, right? So you can take a chair as he walks in that door and hit his arm and knock the weapon out of his hand or arms, and then you can tackle him. Everybody compile on him and don't give him any breathing space. Don't be nice to this guy, trust me. So, but like I said, you gotta do something, because if you do nothing, it's gonna get people killed. And I'm gonna tell you what, that's what happened at Virginia Tech. The guy came in the classroom and started shooting people. Window of opportunity. He even changed magazines on his rifle. Window of opportunity. That would have been their time to attack. Everyone sat there and just took a bullet, just sat there. I don't know about you folks, but I'm going to do something. I'm not going to just sit and do nothing. So that's important. So 3 options: run, hide, fight. So the next thing I want to talk about is concealed carry. How many folks in here knew that you can carry concealed on campus? Show of hands. Wow, you guys are on the ball. Can anybody tell me about concealed carry? What's all you need? What all the elements you need in order to carry concealed, sir? Okay. 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 But okay, you have to have a gun. But what the gun needs to be? Well, no, it doesn't have to be registered. It has to be, okay, you got part of it, holstered, but how holstered? It has to be hidden, concealed. Thank you very much. So you have to be the age of 21. You have to have been through the concealed weapons course. You gotta have, you have to have the license permit on your person at all times. And then last but not least, you have to have that weapon concealed at all times. Because trust me, this has happened to me before where a student actually reached for something and his weapon was exposed. And it turned out it was a resident assistant that called us on this one. So we went to that person, and it turns out he lived in the residence hall. And to make a long story short, we contacted him and we explained to him about the concealed weapon laws. You were in violation. Somebody was concerned. So the first thing I did is I asked him two things: where's your weapon, and could I see your concealed carry? Showed me his concealed carry. Turns out that his weapon was underneath the pillow in his residence hall. Okay, so what's wrong with this picture? It cannot be stored in the residence halls. It's got to be the only places you can store a weapon. Technically, you can store it in your car, but I discourage that because if someone breaks into your car, they have access to the weapon. But you can come to the police station. You can get that gun registered into our police department, and we'll store it for you free of charge. Now, if I have 110 weapons, don't come at me at one time. I don't know if the police can handle that many weapons at one time, so we'll figure out a way if we have to. That's why the chief gets paid the big bucks, so he can figure all that out. So yeah, concealed carry. It's a law that was argued about back in 2012, I believe, and leave it up to one person. When someone told them that you can't carry concealed on this campus, they go to their congressperson or Colorado legislature and argue that the president of the university did not allow me to carry concealed on this campus. Well, guess what? And it was on the news. I remember this because my former chief was on the news talking about this. She went over to, let me see, she defected to CSU, so that's what happened. But yeah, she was on the news, and it was talked about concealed carry on campus. Well, guess what? The Colorado legislature override the university's policy and said you will allow people to carry concealed on campus. The only other places that you cannot carry concealed, can anybody tell me? Two places. Federal buildings. Oh man, you guys are on top of this. I like that. And what's the other place you cannot carry concealed? Because right now, it's in the works that it may happen, but not hospitals.
Airports.
Well, airport counts. Okay, that's considered a federal building. Cool. But one other place, public schools. Thank you very much. So K through 12, those are the areas that you cannot carry concealed. But the way things are going on these days, I think that's going to change. So. But then another thing about concealed carry, you can tell this goes very in depth. But another thing with concealed carry is you don't have to let the police know that you're carrying concealed. We don't have a need to know who's carrying concealed and who isn't, because that's your personal deal. It's on you. All we ask as a police department is just be responsible about carrying concealed. I get asked this question a lot: can I carry mace? Can I carry a taser? Yes, you can. But keep in mind, with that being said, you can only use it to defend and protect yourselves. Now, if you use it to spray at Jake, yeah, just spray and just messing around, tasering him on the side, we don't allow that. Because if Jake is just being, if you're horse playing around with it, it can get you in big trouble. So as long as you use it responsibly to defend, protect yourselves, you can have those items. So a lot to learn about. Health and safety reports. All right, I'm gonna pick on Jake again, and I'm gonna pick on Jeff. Okay, Jeff, you have a problem with Jake. Jake. Okay. All right, Jeff, you had an issue with him to where he told you that I don't really like this campus anymore. I don't know, I think I'm gonna do something, okay? All right, so you have option one. You can go fill out the health and safety report. You have A to Z, the main UNC website. A to Z goes to D, Dean of Students, and you can actually fill out a health and safety report about a person in particular. You can remain anonymous, but Jeff, we're going to come to you. We actually want to talk to you about what you just submitted. Okay? So, but now let's say if Jake told you that I'm going to kill myself, and I may kill others, are you going to fill out a health safety report? What are you going to do? You're going to call the police. That's what I was looking for. So that's something that's not going to wait. That's something you got to act upon. If anyone tells you that they're going to kill themselves or kill others, the police need to know as soon as possible, because we need to contact that person and get them to help before something happens. And also, if Jeff can give us as much information about Jake. Jeff, does Jake own weapons? Does he, what kind of weapon? Or do you think he have any intentions on harming himself and others? We're going to be asking those questions. So, yeah, nice to meet you, Jake, and nice to meet you, Jeff. But yeah, we're going to definitely, as a police department, we definitely want to dig deeper and find out about what's going on. So, all right. Oh yeah, and then they tell you on this video when the police responds, because keep in mind, active shooters, things happen fast. We're not going to get there in a split second to your location. So let's say if you're the good guy, the good Samaritan, good person, and let's say you took out the active shooter, and you just saved a lot of lives. We come in that door, you're going to show us hands. We want to see hands. We don't want to see a weapon in your hand. We want to see the gun put like on the floor, and we want to see your hands. Whether you have them out, up, or have them down, or just so we can see hands. We just don't want it, because the thing is, if you have a weapon in your hand, we come in that door, it turns out you're the good guy, and we shoot you, that's not a good thing. We don't want to kill the good guy. We want to kill the bad guy. That's the whole purpose of taking care of the active shooter. So, how much time do we have left, Vince? Boss? 30 minutes. Holy cow, I got a lot of time. Okay, so I know there's a lot of questions. So, this is pretty much the end of my lecture. You got to see the video, Run, Hide, and Fight. You got to hear a lot about how you should report. So is there any questions for me about any concerns?
So you said about concealed carry.
Sure.
Like they don't live on campus, but they do like concealed carry on campus. You still need to like tell you.
If you carry concealed, we don't need to know anything. Okay, so if you live off campus, okay, chances are if you guys live in the residence halls, chances are you're probably not going to be carrying concealed. And the reason why I say that, because we discourage you from storing your weapons in your cars, because let's say somebody breaks into your car, they have access to still taking your weapon out of your car. Now, let's say if you're a person like to hunt or whatever, we do, as a police department, we do store like your gear in our police department. Because this year, I got a feeling we're going to have more than we can handle. So, but yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get something figured out. But even at the age of 18, if you have a rifle, because we just had a young man come just yesterday and turn in his rifle, and I think he was 18, 19 years old. So we do store, and what we do is we have a log out sheet where they can log it in and log it out. So. Any other questions, sir?
Based on previous experiences with shootings, what has been the duration of these shootings? So, I mean, in the video it says that it takes minutes for the police to get there. How long have these shootings gone on for?
Okay, so shootings are gonna happen in like seconds, possibly.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say I was Vince Carter and I came in this classroom, bang, 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 and bang. How long did that take? That didn't even take 20 seconds, okay? Now, keep in mind, if a person wants to shoot, chances are, and their intentions are killing a mass amount of people. Okay, I just did semi-automatic on you folks just now. Okay, is what I just did. So if I went automatic on you, I'm gonna take more people out. Okay, because keep in mind, a lot of the active shooters, they have access to automatic weapons, and their whole purpose is to take out as many people in just a matter of seconds. So it just depends on what this situation is. And keep in mind, this is where you folks are going to come in, because if you're not carrying concealed, chances are you're going to have to do what you have to do to disarm this person. Because right now there's 110 of you in this class, and chances are it's going to be just one him or her. So I don't know about you folks, but you definitely have to do something to disarm that person. And keep in mind, unfortunately, in the process, you may lose your life doing it, but my thought to this is you got to do something instead of doing nothing. So if you do nothing, sit, then there's going to be mass casualties. If you do something, you can end the threat before it gets worse. So it just takes a matter of seconds. How long does it take for the police to report to get to that location? It's going to take us anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to get to where you're at. And keep in mind, it only takes seconds for that person to start shooting people. So you folks are going to have to be it. I mean, and I can guarantee you, from what I'm hearing, I've spoken to a lot of professors over my 7-year span of working here at UNC since I've taken this position. And a lot of them, and even facility guys, the guys that you see every day, even custodians that you see every day that's working on campus. And I'm going to tell you what, if an event's going to happen, it's going to happen during the daytime. Because people are thinking in terms of, I can kill more people during the day than at night. So I want to take care of that during the daytime. So what my point is I've taught a lot of the faculty staff members active shooter over the years, and I can guarantee you people are packing, just to put it out there, because they know